My beloved child, I bring you news that is not easy to hear. The cost of the choices you have made is coming straight toward you faster than you think. When this signal appears, it is your final ticket. If you do not take hold of it, it will pull you under waves so fierce that no one can save you. I have seen your steps, moving away from the light, slipping gradually into a place of dense darkness. You think you hold freedom in your hands, but in truth you are giving yourself over to chains you do not even perceive. You stand at the threshold, and just one more step will see you swallowed by the abyss. Do you not realize the small, seemingly harmless decisions you have made have opened the door for darkness to enter? You call it freedom, but in reality it is imprisoning you. You believe you are in control, yet on this path each choice you make is like adding another brick to the wall, separating you from me. I have waited patiently, allowing you to feel the weight of your own actions, hoping the pain would awaken you. But you have grown accustomed to that pain, treating it as a normal part of life. You do not see that this numbness is a sign you are slipping further away from life itself, and if you do not turn back, you will lose more than you imagine. Every choice you make leaves a mark. Some you are aware of, others you have never noticed. I have seen crooked things creeping into your heart and life, and I know that if left unchecked, they will lead you into the flames of destruction. My child, I do not speak from a place of judgment, but from eternal love that longs to rescue you from that end. Each step you take sows a seed, and sooner or later you must reap from what you have sown. No choice simply vanishes into nothingness, no matter how small. A glance that feeds desire, a word that feeds pride, or a decision to pursue what I have not given, all leave an imprint. You think they will fade with time, but in truth they are growing quietly, waiting for the day they bear fruit. And when harvest comes, you will find yourself eating the bitter fruit you planted with your own hands. I have seen you sow into dry ground while expecting sweet fruit. That cannot be. Do you know what grieves me the most? When you know full well that a road leads to death, yet you still walk it thinking you will be the exception. I have warned you, place signs along the way, yet you step past them and call it daring to live. You think courage means facing danger head-on, but true courage is turning back before the abyss swallows you. I have seen those nights when you silently justify yourself, telling yourself just once will be harmless. But just once is the hook of the enemy, and it will not let go until you are tightly bound. Do you think I do not know? Everything is laid bare before my eyes. There are also things you do without realizing they are planting seeds of pain. A careless word that wounds another. A silence when you should have spoken truth. A yes given to please people rather than to please me. You think these are too small to matter, but I see their roots. Like a little yeast that leavens the whole batch, these hidden decisions are shaping the direction of your entire life. When a ship's rudder shifts by only a few degrees, it will arrive at a completely different shore, and so it is with you. If you do not wake up by the time you realize it, you will find yourself in a place I never intended for you to be. Remember the story of King Saul. I chose him, anointed him to be king over my people. But because of one decision, keeping the spoils I told him to destroy, he lost his throne. Saul thought it was a small matter that I would overlook it because he still offered sacrifices. But I look for obedience, not outward performance. One act of disobedience opened the door for pride, and pride made him deaf to my voice. You see, no choice is harmless. It always opens a road either to life or to death. My child, I do not say this to weigh you down with guilt, but so you understand that righteousness does not come by chance, but by continual choices to set your heart in the right place. Each day you are writing your story not only through great decisions, but through the smallest habits and reactions. You can choose to sow kind words instead of bitter ones, to seek me instead of chasing false light, to listen to my voice instead of the noise of the world. When you grasp the weight of each choice, you will no longer live carelessly. And then you will see that I have been beside you all along, guarding and guiding each step, so you will not have to reap pain from your own hands. I see you walking a path whose end holds no life. You think it leads to peace and joy, but it is only a dark corridor lit by false lights to hide the abyss ahead. You have been drawn to the glitter of the world, but that light is not from me. It is an illusion, and the more you chase it, the further it leads you from the true light. What you are clinging to is not my hand, but soft cords wrapping around you, coil by coil, until you can no longer move. Do you not see? This world is never neutral. It draws you away bit by bit until you forget my voice. The problem is not only in what you do, but in where you set your heart. You have allowed relationships, dreams, and your own self-image to take the center instead of me. You have measured your success by human standards instead of eternal ones. You believe that if you achieve what you desire, you will find meaning, but meaning is not found in what you possess. It is found in the one to whom you belong. The heart is deceitful above all things. So when you let emotions or your own understanding guide you, you hand the helm to a blind traveler. You are steering a ship in the dark without a compass, and I know that a single strong wind could drive you into the rocks. Hear me in this: there is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end it leads to death. Proverbs 1:4-1-2. You think yourself wise, but your wisdom is not built on the firm foundation of my word. You stand at a crossroads. On one side is the narrow road that leads to life, on the other is the wide road filled with laughter but ending in ruin. I did not make you to be a wandering soul, but to be a child of the light, knowing where you are going and for whom you walk. You must turn back, not because I am angry, but because I love you too much to watch you destroy yourself. Let go of what is not from me. Do not hold on to dreams I did not plant. Do not cling to relationships I have not blessed. Do not place your hope in values that will not endure in eternity. Return to me, and you will find I have never left you, never stopped waiting. I will lead you out of the wide road and into the narrow path where your steps will be secure and your heart at peace. But you must decide while there is still time, for no one knows how many steps remain before the edge of the abyss. Once you turn back, I will begin the work of restoration within you. But first you must understand that I will not share my throne with any idol. This will lead you to another truth. I am a jealous God, not because I am insecure, but because I love you too much to share you. I made you for myself, and only in me will you find wholeness. When you place anything on the same level or above me, whether a relationship, a job, a dream, or your own self, you set up a false throne in the temple of your soul. I cannot and will not sit alongside it. I am the God of holiness, and compromise is the shortest road to destruction. Understand this: when I discipline you, it is not aimless anger, but the heart of a father seeing his child step into fire. If I were to leave you alone, it would mean I did not care, but because I love, I intervene. My discipline is refining fire, burning away what does not belong to you, so that the true gold within may be revealed. I know it hurts you, I see your tears, but I also see the outcome: a softened heart, an unshakable faith, and a straight path leading to life. But remember, the time of grace remains, yet it will not last forever. Grace is the opportunity to return, not the ticket to delay. Every day you choose to delay is another day you allow the roots of compromise to grow deeper. There are doors I still hold open, but there will come a time when, if you continue to refuse, the door will close. Not because I do not love, but because my righteousness will not tolerate sin. Use this time as a seed, not as a passing breeze. Know this: my love for you is complete, but it is not a weak love that coexists with darkness. I cannot bless compromise, for to do so would be to bless the chains that bind you. You were not made to live half in light and half in darkness, half free and half bound. You were made to belong to me fully, just as I gave myself fully to you through the cross. And my child, if you are willing to let go of compromise, I will lead you into a deeper process where I call you to surrender everything: your dreams, your plans, your control, and even the most hidden parts of your heart. For true restoration only comes when you yield completely, and that is what I will speak to you about next. True restoration cannot happen if you only give me part of your life. I do not patch over cracks, nor build a new house on a rotten foundation. I call you to lay everything down, not just what is easy to release, but also what you clutch as if it were your very life. Your dreams, your plans, the image you want others to see, the safe places you do not want touched, all must be laid at my feet. Only when your hands are empty can I place in them what is good and lasting. You think keeping a little for yourself will make you safer, but in truth, it is what keeps you trapped in the cycle. Like someone who wants to be rescued from the deep but still clings to a stone you are pulling yourself under. I do not want you to lose, but I know some things must die for life to rise. When you let go, you do not lose, you exchange it for what is eternal. Restoration does not come through bargaining, but through absolute surrender. This process will not be easy, for it reaches the very roots of your heart. There will be moments you feel stripped bare, but in truth I am setting you free. There will be times you feel empty, but it is in that emptiness that I will fill you with my presence. You will learn to place your trust not in what you can see, but in the one who already knows and has ordered all things. You will find yourself lighter, freer, and your heart will beat for things you once overlooked. But remember, surrender is not a one-time act. It is a life continually placing everything under my authority. There will be times you must lay down the same thing again, each time deeper and more complete. And each time you do, a piece of the chain will break, a measure of light will flood in. When you persist, one day you will look back and realize you were restored, not because you tried to hold on to everything, but because you dared to let everything go. When you surrender fully, I can restore your true purpose. And here is what I want you to understand next. That purpose is not just for you to live, but to live fully in life, to return to the path of righteousness, to choose me every day, and to walk in a peace no one can take away. This will lead you to the greatest decision of all whom you will serve. Now you stand at the crossroads of your soul. One road is wide, noisy, and glittering, where people seem to laugh but ends in ruin. The other is narrow, quiet, and unnoticed, but it leads to eternal life. I have let you walk long enough for you to understand that no one can choose for you. I have waited, called, and sought you in every step you took away from me. Now is the time for you to decide to whom you belong and whom you will serve. Remember, you were not made to wander aimlessly or run with the crowd. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before your first breath touched your lips, I wrote the story of your life. You are not a mistake, nor the product of chance. You were set apart for a purpose greater than yourself, a purpose found only in me. When you return, you will not only find forgiveness, but you will also find again the true self I created you to be. Do not wait until everything collapses before you find your way back. My mercy is open to you today, but no one knows what tomorrow will bring. Come while you can still hear my voice, while your heart can still feel my invitation. Do not let the noise of the world drown out my voice, for the time will come when, if you keep refusing, you will no longer hear it. Step out of the darkness, even if it has become a familiar place, and step into the light, even though it exposes all that you wish to hide. When you return, you will see that I am not standing far away to condemn you, but running to embrace you, as a father embraces the prodigal child coming home. I will clothe you with a new robe, place upon your hand the ring of covenant, and prepare a feast because you have come back to life from the dead. I will cleanse every stain, heal every wound, and restore the joy you thought you had lost forever. You will know what true peace is, not the peace that comes from calm circumstances, but the peace of being in my arms. And from that day forward, you will no longer have to chase after meaning or a place in this world. You will live as one who is saved, loved, and sent. You will be my witness among a lost generation, bringing light into dark places, sowing seeds of life in barren ground. For you have chosen the path that leads to life, and I, the one who has called you, will walk with you until the very end of the story. My child, the world has long whispered sweet-sounding words into your ears, telling you that you can live as you please, indulge every desire, and still receive my blessing. They dress lies in beautiful garments, making them like honey on the lips, but venom in the soul. They tell you that just having faith is enough, that you can hold my hand while clinging tightly to what I despise. But I tell you that is a deadly illusion. I am the Holy One, and those who wish to walk with me must choose the path of holiness, unmixed, uncompromised. This holiness is not an outward ritual or a few moments of piety, but a life that reflects a pure heart, humility, a willingness to bow low in obedience. The days of playing religion have ended. The door to pretense is open only for a short time, and now it is closing. I have seen you act the part of the devout believer before others while keeping dark corners inside where you have never invited me. I am not looking for performances of morality where you speak noble words, but your heart remains far from me. I am looking for truth within you, the quiet sighs, when you realize you have strayed from the truth, the unseen tears of repentance, the silent decisions strong enough to change the course of your life. Know that I have not come to frighten you, but neither have I come to soothe the illusions you are holding on to. I have come to break the chains you do not realize you are wearing. I have come to tear down the false temples in your heart, the places where you exalt people, money, success, or even yourself. These things may give you a fleeting joy, but they will not lead you into the destiny I have for you. You cannot enter the place I want to take you while still carrying burdens that were never yours to bear. You must understand that the true destiny I have set for you will not accept division. It demands all of you, your mind, your heart, your strength, and your will. You cannot move forward while looking back. You cannot want to live for me while holding on to fragments of your old life. You cannot step into a new door while clutching the key to an old decaying room. I have not called you to a comfortable life, but to a truly free life. And true freedom only comes when you dare to let go of what is binding you. You have grown used to the cheap promises of the world, words that say, "Just be yourself will be enough to make you happy." But my child, being yourself apart from me only makes you the most distorted version of who you were meant to be. I made you to reflect my image, not to chase after a flawed self. You have grown accustomed to small compromises, a harmless lie, a hidden act of dishonesty, a thought that feeds pride. But those compromises are like drops of water seeping into a dam until one day it bursts and sweeps everything away. I am calling you deeper, not just to know about me, but to know me. Not just to hear my word, but to let my word reach the deepest parts of your heart, cutting away what is rotten, healing old wounds. Let me take you out of the shallow waters where you still control everything and lead you into the deep where you must trust my arms completely. There all pretense will vanish, and all that is false will be swept away. There it will be just you and me. No walls, no masks, no roles to play. I am calling you to maturity. Maturity is not about age or the number of years you have been in the church, but about your willingness to let me mold you even when it hurts. Maturity is knowing how to let go of what you want to receive what I want. It is learning restraint when everything in you wants to retaliate, learning to serve quietly when every instinct wants recognition. Maturity is when you stop living to prove yourself and start living to please me. Let go of what you cannot carry into the future I have prepared. Some relationships must end because they do not bring you closer to me. Some dreams must die because they were born from the self, not from my will. Some habits must be broken even if they feel like breathing to you. I know you fear loss, but what I take away is never what you truly need to live. Trust that my hand will never remove anything unless I have something better to replace it. My child, this is not an invitation for a select few who are overly zealous, but for all who call me Lord. For I am not seeking those who walk with me only on convenient days, then turn aside when the road narrows. I am seeking those who will stay even when everything is taken away, even when the coldest wind blows. I am seeking those who dare to say, though all is against me, I still choose you. The time for leniency has ended. The call has gone out, and now is the moment you must answer. There is no room for half-heartedness, for half-heartedness will kill your soul faster than any storm. This is not the time for negotiation, this is the time for decision. And your decision today will echo into eternity. Come not when you think you are ready by your own standards, but come as you truly are with all your weakness, confusion, and even doubt. I do not require you to be perfect before you come, but neither will I leave you unchanged after you have come. For my love does not merely embrace you, it transforms you. And when I transform you, I will bring you into life that no one and nothing can take away. So step out from your hiding place, lay down your burdens, refuse the call of the world, and walk the path I have opened. It is not wide, not noisy, but every step will bring you closer to true life. And as you walk, you will see that I am not only the one who calls, but also the one who walks with you, who holds you up, and who ensures that you will reach the finish. My beloved, these days may feel like a thick gray sky where the sun seems to forget to shine, and the dry wind of trials lashes at your heart without rest. You may think you are abandoned, but in truth I am right here beside every breath, every heartbeat. The barren land you are walking through is not a sign I have turned away, but the very chamber I have chosen to train you in a place where all the noise is silenced so you can hear only my voice. The desert does not kill if you walk with the one who leads. It only kills when you try to survive on your own strength, seeking water where there is none. I know what it feels like when everything seems stripped away. You once had things you leaned on, relationships, achievements, dreams, and now they slip through your fingers like sand. But my child, I have heard your prayer to belong more fully to me, and that cannot happen while your hands are still full of other things. When you asked to be closer to me, you invited me to come and clean the room of your soul, and sometimes cleaning means dismantling even what feels familiar. The loss you feel now is only the empty space I will fill with what is eternal. The breaking you feel is not a destructive blow, but the hammer of the potter breaking the old vessel to form a new one, stronger, more beautiful, and able to hold greater glory. You once prayed to see the true light, and that light not only guides, it also exposes the dark corners in your heart where you have not let me in. Truth is not a gift wrapped in comforting silk. Truth is a sharp sword that cuts away the rotten whether you want it or not. Remember, I have never and will never forsake you. When you cannot feel my presence, it does not mean I am absent. It means I am teaching you to trust not by emotion but by the certainty of faith. You may not see results immediately, but every tear you shed I gather, every sigh I record. No trial is meaningless. Each one is a material for the masterpiece I am creating. Think of the seed buried in the soil, in darkness, in silence, unseen. Outsiders think it is dead, but in truth it is in that hidden place that life is breaking forth. The breaking you experience is simply the old shell cracking so that new life can emerge. You will not remain in this desert forever. There is a harvest waiting, but the harvest cannot come without a season of planting and tending. I am deepening your roots so that when the storm comes, you will not be uprooted. Do not fear when you feel out of control. You once held the wheel tightly, confident you knew the way, but now I am leading you into new waters where only faith can keep you standing. The shaking you see is not to make you fall, but to let go of what does not belong to you. When your foundation is rebuilt, it will be stronger than ever, and you will know that true safety does not come from control, but from surrender. My child, when you walk through days like these, do not only ask, why? Ask, what are you teaching me? For I have never allowed a single wind to blow across your life without a purpose. Even darkness is under my authority, and I know exactly when to call the light to shine again. Sometimes you must pass through the long night to know the worth of the dawn. And when the new day comes, you will understand every step in the dark was not wasted. I am leading you through this journey not to make you a better version of yourself, but to make you a completely new creation shaped by my hand. You will learn to love without conditions, to be patient without haste, and to hope even when every door is closed. I am not making you stronger in the way the world understands. I am making you more dependent on me because that is true strength. So keep walking, even if slowly, even if with effort, even if you feel you have only a little strength left. You do not need to see the whole road. You only need to place your hand in mine and take the next step. With each step you take, I am clearing the way, opening the path, preparing things no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no heart has imagined. You are not alone. The second set of footprints beside you is mine, and when you are too weary to walk, I will carry you. One day you will tell of these days not with sighs but with testimony. You will speak of the desert not as a fearful place but as the place where you learn to recognize my voice more clearly than ever before. You will remember the moments you thought you had lost everything but in truth found the most precious thing, my presence. And you will know that in the breaking you were remade not by your strength but by the power of the one who loves you unchangingly. So, my child, do not take your eyes off me. Do not let the desert trick you into thinking I have forgotten. Believe that every step is calculated by me, every trial allowed for a reason of love. Even when you do not understand, know that I am working, and the work I am doing in you will not stop until it is complete. The desert is not the end. It is only the prelude to the radiant new season I have prepared for you. And when that day comes, you will understand why I led you through this, and you will be grateful that you did not give up along the way. My child, this is not the end. This is the beginning of a new journey, a journey back to the true source of life. Do not cling to the barriers you have built for so long. Lay down every quiet resistance in your heart, the walls you have erected out of fear and pride. Do not let the thought that you must control everything hinder your steps. Do not hold on to the picture you have painted of how your life must unfold, for no matter how beautiful it seems, it is still only the work of a limited imagination. Let me hold the brush. Let me paint again with colors you have never seen, with depth only the hand of the Creator can bring forth. I am not reconstructing a revised version of what you have lost. I am not piecing together the fragments to give you something that looks the same as before. I am making all things new, a work that will endure, a foundation that cannot be shaken. You have yet to realize that the future you have been chasing, the ideal future in your mind, was never born from my heart. It was built on fleeting desires shaped by the gaze of others, not by my eyes. And for that reason, it is as fragile as morning mist vanishing when the sun rises. The dreams you have nurtured without rooting them in me are like castles built on sand. A strong wind or a fierce wave can sweep them away, leaving you empty-handed. But what I give you is different. No one, no power, no storm can take it away. What I build will stand firm through time and trial. What I birth will carry the breath of eternal life, and therefore it will never die. You have spent too much energy clutching at things that were already slipping through your fingers. Every time you try to hold tighter, the cords bind more painfully, draining your strength and hope. You do not yet see that true freedom comes in letting go. Letting go is not loss, it is placing the control into the hands of the one who knows both the beginning and the end. When you place into my hands what you think is precious, you will receive what is truly precious, something no human effort or wisdom can buy. I know there is still doubt in your heart. You fear that if you let everything go, you will lose yourself. But I tell you this, you will find yourself in me, and only then will you know who you truly are. You will no longer live to prove yourself, nor run to compete with others, or measure up to the fragile standards of this world. You will walk in the freedom that only truth can bring. Look back at the many times you have planned everything yourself, arranging every detail only to be crushed when things did not turn out as you wished. How many times did you believe that if you just tried harder, persisted longer, you would finally reach your goal, only to discover that even when you arrived, the satisfaction did not last? This is because you were building on a foundation that was not mine. I am the solid rock. Whoever builds upon me will not be swept away. I do not promise that the path I lead you on will always be easy, but I promise it will always be right. There may be turns and valleys of shadow, but at every step I will be with you. I will teach you to discern between the true light and the mirage. I will show you when to pause and when to quicken your pace. I will place within you a new desire, not to possess or achieve something, but to become more like me each day. You must learn to trust that I am working for your good, even when you cannot yet see the result. Like a seed buried deep in the soil, it may seem as though it has disappeared, but in silence, it is germinating. There will be seasons when you see no change, but when the appointed time comes, what I have planted will bloom and bear fruit far beyond what you imagined. Then you will understand why I asked you to release what you once held so tightly. Let me be the author who rewrites your story, not based on an old draft, but with an entirely new beginning. Do not try to edit the past. Let me hand you a blank page. On it I will write lines you could never have imagined, telling of a journey of faithfulness, of healing, and of love beyond understanding. My child, when you choose to step into this new beginning, you will see that everything I do has purpose. Not a single tear will be wasted, not a single loss will be without meaning, not a single setback will be for nothing. All of it is leading you to the place I have prepared since before time began, a place where you will know you belong to me, and that will be enough. so do not delay any longer. Open your hands, let go of every burden, and allow me to take hold. Believe that I am not merely restoring what was lost, but giving you something better, stronger, and deeper. As you walk with me, each day will become a stone set upon an unshakable foundation, and your whole life will stand as a testimony that what I begin, I will bring to completion. You can be certain of this: I never start a work only to abandon it. When I set out to create, I finish with a beauty beyond all comparison. And you will see that everything I make new in your life will never fade, never tremble, and will live forever in the light of eternal life. My child, let my words cut through the noise of the world and reach the deepest part of your heart. I want you to know this even when your eyes cannot see, when you do not feel my presence. I am still here, steadfast, unchanging. I am not bound by what you are going through, nor swayed by what you feel. My love for you does not fade, and my faithfulness remains the same through every season of your life. Right now, in your confusion, in your heart, full of unanswered questions, I am closer than your next breath. That you think this silence is distance, but in truth, it is the space I have created so you can hear my call more clearly. This moment where you stand is not the end as you think it is a turning point. I have not brought you here to destroy, but to save. I have not shaken everything around you to frighten you, but to tear down the false so the true foundation can be laid. You see disruption. I see a beginning. You see loss. I see clearing the way for the new. You see nakedness. I see a soul unhidden, ready to be clothed in me. I know there are times you feel shattered like a jar smashed against stone, but it is through those very cracks that my light will pour in. I will not glue you back together as you were, for the old cannot contain what I am about to do. I will reshape you not to erase your past, but to make your scars the evidence of grace. The world may see you and call it failure, but I see a masterpiece under restoration. Do not be ashamed of your unfinished state. It is proof that I am still touching and transforming you. You think that being lost means disappearing into darkness, but to me, being lost simply means you are in a different place on the map of grace. I know exactly where you are, every step you have taken, and every detour you thought I did not see. You can never fall out of my reach. No distance is too great, no darkness too thick, no depth too deep to keep me from finding you. Even when you turn away, I walk alongside you, patiently waiting for the moment you turn back. Believe this: no stain is too deep for me to cleanse, no brokenness too great for me to mend. My redemption is not only about pulling you out of the pit, but setting you in the place I destined for you from the start. I do not only want to save you from death, I want to give you life in abundance. I do not only want you free from darkness, I want you to shine. I do not only want you to stop wandering, I want you to walk with purpose and certainty. I know you feel weak, but it is in that weakness that my strength is revealed. I know you feel fear, but it is there that my peace can replace it. I know you doubt, but it is there that I can rebuild your faith with unshakable stones. You do not need to wait until you are strong enough to come to me. It is because you are weak that you need me. You do not need to clean yourself before entering, for I am the one who cleanses. You do not need to find your own way, for I am the way. Let me lift the burden you are carrying. You have tried to bear it for too long, and I see your shoulders trembling. I know you have gritted your teeth to keep going, but inside you are tired and longing for rest. You do not need to prove your worth to me. Your worth is set by the very hands that formed you. You do not need to earn my love. It has been yours since before you knew its name. If you dare to lay everything down today, your fears, your control, your unanswered questions, you will see that my hand has been extended all along. I will lead you through wilderness, across deep waters through the night, and you will realize that every step was under my watch. You will see that what you thought would destroy you actually saved you. You will see that the days you thought I was silent were the very days I was working most deeply within you. Look up and see that I am still here. I do not change. My heart does not waver because of what you do or fail to do. I loved you when you were far away, and I will love you until your stories end and beyond, into eternity. You do not need to understand everything to believe. You only need to begin walking, With every step you take toward me, I will run toward you. When you fall, I will lift you. When you stray, I will find you. When you are discouraged, I will remind you of my promises. You are never beyond my restoration. No one can snatch you out of my hand. No power, not death, nor life, nor angels, nor rulers can separate you from my love. I have engraved your name in the palm of my hand, and no one can erase it. What I have begun in you, I will finish. What I have planted, I will bring to bloom. What I have promised, I will fulfill. You only need to believe and step forward. Do not look at the chaos around you. Fix your eyes on mine. Do not measure your future by your present limits. Measure it by my strength and my promises. Do not let your past define you. Let my grace shape you. As you walk, you will see new doors open, chains fall, and tears turn into joy. My child, this is the beginning, not the end. This is the new chapter I have long prepared, waiting only for you to step in. And when you do, all of heaven will rejoice, for a soul has come home. You will no longer be a wandering stranger, but a child in the arms of the Father, living fully in protection and blessing. And from this day forward, you will know no moment is wasted, no tear is meaningless when it is placed in my hands. I have seen how you twist every definition to lighten the weight of your own guilt. You have called what I despise desirable, and what I cherish unnecessary. You have taken the hand of the enemy and believed it to be the hand that guides you. You have invited darkness into your house, laid out a welcome mat, and then reassured yourself that you are living in the light. Day after day you exchange white for black without fear, and I have stood by heartbroken, watching the child I love turn deception into habit and habit into a way of life. The world has soothed your conscience with sweet words. It's okay, everyone's like that, but such words are sugar-coated poison, seeping in little by little. You no longer shudder at what is wrong, no longer tremble when crossing the boundaries I have set. You have grown accustomed to living in the night, and have come to believe darkness is normal. You have blurred every sign with your own hands, so you would not have to face the truth that you are lost, yet I have remained patient. I have allowed my spirit to whisper in your ear, still sent signs into your life, a word, an event, a dream, to remind you that you do not belong to the darkness. I have reached out many times, but each time I drew near, you stepped back. I spoke softly, yet you turned up the noise to drown my voice. I placed before you opportunities to return, and you called them inconveniences. I opened a way of escape, and you called it loss. You must know this. There is a season for mercy to wait, and there is a season for mercy to act. Waiting is when I patiently give you time to think and turn back. Acting is when I can no longer stand still, because if I let you continue, you will plunge over the edge with no way back. Now I am acting. I am tearing down the walls you have built to protect the very thing that is killing your soul. I am silencing the noise you use to avoid the stillness where my voice is clear. I will shake the foundations of everything in which you have placed your trust in the wrong place, so you will know there is no safety apart from me. You have allowed your heart to grow numb to the inner voice of conviction. At first that voice still echoed, causing you to hesitate before stepping wrong. But you ignored it so many times that it grew faint, and now it is almost silent. You have let the voices of people drown out my call. You have opened the door wide for thoughts opposed to truth, letting them take their seats at the table of your mind. You do not realize that each false idea is an invisible cord, and when there are enough of them, they will tighten until you cannot breathe. My child, when the boundary between good and evil is blurred, chaos will reign. When you no longer call sin, sin will become the rule of your life. When you no longer fear wrongdoing, you will begin to defend it, justify it, even take pride in it. That is when you lose the compass of your soul and every path leads downward. I cannot and will not let this continue. I do not intervene to humiliate you, but to save you. I do not expose you to shame you, but so that my light will shine where darkness is multiplying. I know you will resist clinging to what is familiar even when it is hurting you. But I also know that if you let go, you will see that what you called safety was in truth only chains, and what you called loss was in truth your freedom. From now on, I will remove one by one each relationship, each ambition, each habit that you have placed above me. Every loss will be a call to return. Every shaking will be an alarm bell. Every closed door will be a signpost telling you that you are headed the wrong way. I will not stop until your heart is soft enough to hear and obey. Do not think my intervention is the final punishment. In truth, it is proof that I still love you, that I still call you mine. If I had abandoned you, you would have been lost long ago. If I were silent, it would mean you had gone so far there was no way to call you back. But today, as you read these words, it is proof that you are not yet too far to return. I am still here. I still have my arms open. I still await the moment you decide to turn your back on darkness and run toward the light. But you must remember, opportunity does not last forever. My patience is infinite, but the time you have to choose is not. Each day you delay, you allow the roots of deception to grow deeper. Each time you refuse, you close the door of grace before you. And there will come a day when, if you still do not respond, I will let you go your own way, and you will have to reap all that you have sown. My child, do not wait until everything is in ruins to find your way back. Do not wait until every call has gone silent to realize you have lost contact with me. Come back while your heart can still feel the stirring of my spirit. Come back while your eyes can still catch the glimpse of light. Come back while your heart is still soft enough to bow down and say, "Save me." For if today you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. This is the moment of intervention, not to destroy, but to save. Not to condemn, but to set free. Not to slam shut every door, but to open the only path that leads to life. And when you walk on that path, you will know that everything I took away was only to give you something far more precious, myself. My child, I have seen what you have done with my word. You have picked the verses you wanted to hear and ignored those that touched the deep places in your heart. You have bent the truth to fit your desires instead of letting that truth shape you from within. What I gave as pearls of great value you placed in the dust until they lost their luster. You thought this would make life lighter, freer, but it was only a velvet-lined trap, a prison with a window to an illusion. You believed your wisdom was enough to know the right path, but that wisdom has been mingled with the whispers of darkness. You thought yourself strong, but that strength was only an outer garment. Inside, without me, you are as fragile as tender grass before a fierce wind. You have shifted the boundaries I set, lowered the standards I ordained, and called it balance and modernity. Do you not see? In doing so, you are undermining your own foundation, and soon the whole house will tilt. Therefore, I must step in, not with a hand to destroy, but with the hand of a father who will not stand by while his child hurls themselves into the abyss. I do not intervene out of momentary anger, nor because I am tired of you, but because I love you too much to let you continue down a path that leads to death. My love is not a weak thing that only yields to your wishes. It is strong enough to block your wrong steps, deep enough to endure your resistance, and steadfast enough to wait until you understand that it was all for the sake of your own life. You may blame me for taking away your comfort, but I will not apologize for doing so. The safety of your soul matters more than the ease you cling to. Your place in eternity is worth more than the praise of men. If I must choose between letting you be comfortable now and seeing you live forever with me, I will choose the path that causes you momentary pain but saves you for eternity. My child, when I shake, when I expose, when I take away, know that it is not a sign I have abandoned you. It is proof that I am still here, still loving, still protecting the most precious part of you, your soul. Everything else may be lost, but the part of you that belongs to me I will not allow to be stolen. There are things I have gently taken from your hands, not to cause you loss, but to save you from what would shatter your soul. I have seen the invisible cords wrapping around you, pulling you toward the darkness little by little, and I knew that without intervention you could never break free on your own. I have cut away connections that seemed to give you comfort, but in truth were draining your spiritual life. You could not see it then, so you wept, you questioned, you blamed me. But I saw beyond what you could see. I saw the end of that road, and it led only to desolation. There have been times I allowed disappointment to come, not to crush your spirit, but to turn your steps back to the path of righteousness. You had gone too far, and, my gentle call was no longer enough to stop you. So I let certain dreams collapse, certain plans fail, certain doors close, not to make you lose hope, but so that you would be forced to look up and find me. You did not know that it is precisely when every exit ahead is blocked that you begin to see I am the only way out. There are doors you have knocked on endlessly, but I have not opened. You thought I was silent, but in truth I placed my hand on that handle to keep it shut. For beyond that door lay an abyss, things that could destroy you faster than you realize. You pushed, turned, tried every way to break the lock, but I protected you by refusing to answer that plea. You only saw the glittering exterior of the door, but I saw the darkness and death within. I have heard your prayers for breakthrough, yet you wanted the walls to fall without letting me touch the foundation. You have pleaded for blessing while holding tight to what is contrary to the way I have shown you. You have expected my favor while resisting my hand whenever it touched the parts you did not want to change. You have called for freedom while nurturing the chains you are accustomed to wearing. My child, true blessing cannot grow in an environment of chaos. My anointing cannot mingle with rebellion, just as light cannot mix with darkness. I cannot walk alongside you on a path of compromise, for that would be leading you straight into the enemy's hands. I love you too much to be silent as you push yourself toward the cliff. My love is not a blind emotion that accepts everything you do, but a strong love that dares to say no to what will destroy you. That is why I have allowed you to lose certain things you thought you needed. I have let some people walk out of your life, some plans fail, some doors close forever. I have not done this to retaliate, but to set you free. I know that in the moment all you feel is pain and emptiness. But the day will come when you look back and understand, if I had not taken it away, you would never have made room for something better. Remember, when I prune, I do not harm the tree. I help it bear more fruit. There are branches that look green and healthy but are draining life without producing anything. Those branches must be cut so that life may flow where it truly belongs. So it is with your life. There are relationships, opportunities, and habits that seem harmless, even helpful, but in reality only slow you down on the path of righteousness. I love you too much to let them remain. I know you have misunderstood me before, thinking I was indifferent to your desires, but trust that I never close a door without preparing a better way. I never take from you what I do not intend to replace with something more precious, more enduring, and filled with true life. My child, I call you to step out from the quiet resistance within your heart. Do not cling to the things I have told you to lay down. Do not try to persuade me to bless what is contrary to my word. I cannot bless chains, I cannot anoint rebellion, and I cannot walk with you down the path of compromise. But I am ready to take your hand if today you choose to return. Remember this, what I take away is never greater than what I am about to give. The only thing keeping you from receiving is that your hands are still full with no room for new gifts. Open your hands, let go, let me do my work, the work of redemption, restoration, and renewal of all things. Then you will see that every loss was only the prelude to something greater, stronger, and eternal. My child, my love is not a rubber band you can keep stretching without it breaking. I have been patient, walking slowly beside you, whispering through gentle reminders. But I am also the one who will not let you walk endlessly in darkness while thinking you are in the light. Boundaries have been drawn not to imprison you, but to save you from destruction. And when you cross those boundaries, my love must become fiercer, not a whisper anymore, but a resounding call that pierces through every layer of noise you are trying to hide behind. I do not come to argue endlessly with a hardened heart. There will come a moment when I must step in, not with the gentle hand of quiet mornings, but with the force of a midnight storm. Not to crush you, but to awaken you. Not to condemn you, but to pull you back from the edge you do not realize you are standing on. You think you will always have the choice of when to return, but you do not know that it is your delay that is binding your feet with invisible chains. I know you hoped the way back would be softer, more like a quiet dawn than a raging tempest. But when you refuse the invitation in the stillness, I must speak in the shaking. When you do not answer my gentle knocks, I must shake the door. When you ignore the morning light, I must let lightning tear the night apart. You think this is anger, but in truth it is mercy in its fiercest form, the kind of love that refuses to stand still while you are swallowed by the abyss. Do not mistake this. What you are feeling now, the unrest, the collapse of the familiar, the shattering of your plans, is not punishment for revenge. It is my hand tearing down the walls of false safety, because I know they will not stand when the real storm comes. I am overturning the false thrones you have set up in the temple of your soul, for only one is worthy to sit there. I cannot bless what is killing you. Like a father who sees his child running toward the tracks, I will not stand at a distance speaking softly. I will shout, I will run, I will block your path, even if it frightens you, confuses you, or angers you, because I would rather have you angry with me today and alive than smiling tomorrow and crushed. My love is not fragile. It is strong enough to be misunderstood, strong enough to be rejected, if only it means you are saved. My child, I know this shaking makes you feel as though the foundation of your life is being pulled away. But you must understand this foundation was already rotten, and I am laying down a new one that cannot be moved. I know you fear the loss of what is familiar, but that emptiness is the space where I will place what is true, lasting, and eternal. You have built on sand long enough. Now it is time to stand upon the rock. So do not try to patch back together what I have intentionally broken. Do not rush to reclaim the fragments I have taken from your hands. You are not losing. You are being saved from what would have destroyed you had I left it there. This moment is not an ending, but a doorway into a new chapter. And that chapter will not be written with the old things, but with truth, freedom, and life. I call you, let go and let me do my work. Do not fear the storm, for I am in it. Do not fear the darkness, for I am the light within it. Do not fear loss, for I am your inheritance that no one can take away. When you allow me to tear down, you will see that I am also the builder. When you allow me to cut away, you will see that I am also the healer. And when all is said and done, you will realize that what I have kept for you is all you ever truly needed. My child, I have seen every tear fall down your cheek, and I have not turned away. Your tears do not frighten me, nor do they cause me to avoid you. On the contrary, each tear is a silent cry of your heart, and I receive them as a father embracing a trembling child returning home. I am not surprised by the storms in your emotions, the days when you are unsure what to believe, the hours when I feel so far away, the moments when you want to shout and ask me why. I am not shaken by your anger or your questions. I am big enough to bear even the things you dare not speak to anyone else. I know every wound, every fragment within you, and I am still here steadfast and unmovable. But because I love you, I will not let you keep walking down this path. Every step you take is bringing you closer to the cliff's edge, and I cannot stand by and watch. The pain you are feeling now is not the harshness of a ruler imposing his will, but the hands of a physician performing urgent surgery. I am using the scalpel of truth to cut away the tumors of sin and deception that are corroding your soul. I am removing things you thought were harmless, but in my eyes they are quietly draining the life from you. I know each cut stings, making you want to hold tighter to what is familiar. I know you do not want to let go because you believe it is part of who you are, or the only place you feel safe. But often the safety you feel is nothing more than the walls of a prison you have grown used to. You do not realize that what you are holding on to is binding you, slowing you down, and weighing you so heavily that you cannot run where I am calling you. I am pulling you out of a fire you do not even see burning around you. Each day, each hour, the flames move closer, quietly consuming what belongs to you. I reach my hand into the deepest place of the pit, where smoke and dust cling to everything to grasp your hand. You may not see it, but that hand has been extended for a long time, only waiting for you to stop struggling so I can pull you up. If you could see what I see, you would understand why I do what I do. You would thank me for closing doors you once wept over losing. You would praise me for breaking dreams that seemed bright but would have become traps. You would rejoice over relationships I have severed, knowing they would have dragged you deeper. You would be grateful I took away some of the things you loved, because had you kept them, they would have become chains around your ankles. But I know you cannot see clearly right now. At this moment, everything feels like loss. You feel empty, as though I am taking without giving back. You feel suspended in a void, not knowing where to go or what to believe. You may think, I am silent, but I am working deeper than you realize. I am preparing space so I can fill it with what you truly need, not what will fade, but what will last forever. Like a potter, I must crush the cracked vessel to remake it from the beginning. You think I could simply patch the crack, but I know if I do not rebuild, it will shatter under pressure. You think I could let you keep part of your old life, but I know that part will leak poison, ruining the new thing I want to give you. So I choose the harder way, the way that hurts you now, but will save you in the long run. My child, I do not just want you free from what is harmful. I want you free to step into what is best. I do not only want you to survive, I want you to live fully. And for that to happen, there are things I must take away, people. I must remove habits. I must break. Not because I want you to lose, but because I do not want to watch you destroy yourself. One day you will look back and see every tear was a seed sown, growing into a tree of life where once there were only thorns. One day you will understand that what I took away was to make room for something greater, deeper, and unshakable. You will tell others your story, and your voice will no longer tremble, but will be filled with conviction that loss saved me. But until that day comes, you must learn to trust me, even when you do not understand. You must remember that my love is not always gentle. Sometimes it is like fire burning away what does not belong to you. Sometimes it is like a storm sweeping away what you thought was your safe shelter. But that love will never destroy what I built for you to keep. It only removes what would harm you. My child, I have seen your destination, and I know you will smile when you arrive. On that day you will realize, my hand kept you safe even when you thought I had abandoned you. On that day you will know every loss was a step closer to true freedom. And on that day you will rise, wipe away your tears, and walk on with a lighter heart, because you will understand that nothing I take away goes unreplaced by something better. My child, when I begin this work in your life, I do not do it halfway. I do not brush lightly over the surface and leave you as you are. I dig deep, I shake, I unsettle even the parts you thought would remain forever fixed. Because what I am building must endure, and everything eternal must stand on a foundation so solid that no storm can erase it. If that foundation has been mixed with truth and lies with light and darkness, I will patiently dismantle it until only the pure remains. I am not afraid to take time, but I know your time is limited. That is why I act when I must, so you will not sink deeper into what will rob you of life itself. You once thought you could hold me and other things as long as they were not too bad in your eyes. But I see clearly anything not from me will sooner or later pull you away from me. A relationship that seems harmless but breeds dependency. A dream that looks holy but is born of pride. A habit so small yet slowly eroding faith. All these are seeds of division. I do not wait until the tree grows to cut it down. I uproot it while it is still a sprout before its toxic roots can spread. You may feel as though I am taking something from you, but in truth I am protecting you from losing far more. The altars you have built in your heart, do you know how much of your attention they have consumed? You have burned incense to success through exhausting hours of work, yet without me in it. You have offered sacrifices to comfort by avoiding the challenges I have allowed to shape you. You have raised the gaze of others as the measure of your worth, letting every praise or criticism become the rope that either pulls you up or strikes you down. And there are moments when you have given your heart to instant gratification and sweet pride, thinking no one sees. But I see it all not to condemn, but to rescue you from the very altars that one day will demand your life. My love is not like the kind of affection that merely nods and yields to your every desire. My love is brave enough to say no to what will destroy your soul, even when you do not yet understand. You may not like the way I work, but you will be grateful when you see the outcome. Like a physician who must cut away the rot to preserve life, I must remove the decaying parts within you. I do not do this to hurt you, but so that the pain will lead to healing. You do not need to stand before me with a flawless record, for I know every crack, every hollow, every shadow within you. I do not expect you to understand every strategy I use. If you did, you would have no need to trust. Nor do I ask you to stitch together your torn places on your own. I am the skilled craftsman who will mend each fragment with the thread of mercy and truth. All I want is for you to give me everything, not keeping a single corner for yourself to handle, not closing any room in your heart under the pretense that I don't need to know. There will be times when it feels as though everything is being stripped away, but in truth, that is when I am gently loosening each chain you have worn so long, you no longer realize you are bound. There will be moments when you look around and see nothing left, yet that very emptiness is the space I need to fill you with what is new and eternal. And there will come a day when you understand that all you thought was loss was in fact the fairest exchange, letting go of what perishes to receive what will never fade. You may fear when I touch the parts you have hidden, the memories you do not wish to revisit, the wounds you have buried deep. But my child, darkness only has power when it is concealed. When I bring light, it is not to shame you, but to cut off its hold. Once light enters, darkness loses its place. A wound once opened will bleed, but only then can it be cleansed and begin to heal. What I am doing in you is no accident. Every dismantling, every removal is part of the blueprint for restoration. I am restoring your image to how I first made you, unwarped by lies, unburdened by the weights others have placed upon you, unclouded by the dust of sin and disappointment. I am giving you a new heart, a renewed mind, and a soul able to discern my voice among countless others. Do not rush me to finish in an instant. Remember, a strong tree does not grow in a single season. It endures scorching sun and fierce storm seasons when its roots sink deep and its branches stretch high. I will take the time needed for you, because I do not only want you to survive, I want you to bear abundant fruit. Such fruit does not come from haste, but from patience and faithfulness. My child, let go. Do not cling to the old worn bricks. Do not try to rebuild the wall I have intentionally torn down. When you release it, you give me permission to replace it with something more beautiful, stronger, and purer. Surrender does not make you smaller. It enlarges the capacity of your heart to hold more of what I long to give. Believe that when this work is complete, you will not only be healed, you will be transformed. What once made you fall will become a testimony of redemption. The places once weak will be proof of my strength. And the parts of your life once dark will shine with light, so that others may see and know that I am the one who makes all things new. When you stand on a new, clean, and solid foundation, you will no longer fear the wind or the raging waves. You will know that everything I have torn down was only to replace it with something better. You will not regret what is gone, because you will see it was nothing compared to the fullness you have received. And in that moment, you will understand fully the meaning of surrender. It is not loss, it is finding everything. My beloved, I am still here unmoved amid all the changes in your life, like the rock unshaken though storms howl around it. I am not a passing shadow, not a friend who comes and goes, not an anchor that holds only while the sea is calm. I am the one who has seen you since the beginning of your days, who has witnessed every step you've taken, and who has never changed my mind about loving you. Whether you have walked in bright seasons or through days shrouded in gloom, I have remained unrelenting and unyielding in my care. I have seen you on the mountaintop of success, and I have seen you alone in the valley of despair. You never have to wonder where I am when all around you falls apart, for even in the ruin I am holding the pieces you can no longer grasp. I do not draw back because of your wounds, nor turn away in shame for you. On the contrary, I step closer, close enough for you to hear. My heart beats steady even as your world trembles. I am not pushed back by your failures, nor afraid of the darkness surrounding you. I am light, and that light has never gone out. I know you have endured long nights when prayer seemed only to echo into emptiness. You have wondered if I am listening, if I still care, if I remember you at all. My child, every whisper, every choked breath, every fleeting thought is fully understood by me. I not only hear what you say, I hear what you cannot say. The hidden fears, the unfulfilled desires, the regrets you cannot let go. I hold them all, leaving not a single fragment behind. Sometimes you think, my delay is indifference, but in truth, it is the time I am using to prepare something better than you have imagined. Like the potter who does not rush when shaping a fine vessel, I will not place in your hands what you are not yet ready to keep. I know that if I give it too soon, it will slip away and shatter. And so I wait not for you to become perfect, but for your heart to open enough to receive. When you walk in stubbornness, I do not abandon you. I still watch over you, still guard what you do not know you need. When you hurl yourself into dangerous choices, I have often stood in the way of consequences that could have crushed you. You do not see the accidents I have prevented, the wounds I have covered, the losses I have not allowed. If you knew, you would understand that your life today is not sustained solely by your own keeping, but because I have intervened many times. My love for you is not shallow, convenient, when easy, and gone when hard. It is steadfast, as I have declared, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Those words are not bound by time or by your present state. When you turn away, I remain. When you run, I keep close enough to catch you when you fall. When you lose your way, I am still there, a landmark to guide you home. I give you time because I want you to realize for yourself that nothing in this world can fill the space made only for me. I give you silence so you can hear the sound of your own steps straying too far. I let you taste failure not to shame you, but to show you the limits of your own strength. I know that sometimes only at the bottom will you look up for a greater light. And when you do, I will be the first thing you see. You have never been beyond my reach. However deep you sink, my arm is long enough to reach you. However far you wander, my steps are swift enough to overtake you. No distance can keep my grace from building a bridge. You may be forgotten by people, cast aside, deemed worthless, but I call you by name. I define you not by your mistakes or failures, but by the plan I set for you before you were born. I want you to know that every moment I wait is a moment my heart is turned toward you. I do not wait to condemn, but to embrace you on the day you return. I do not keep my distance so you feel abandoned, but so you will long for my presence above all else. And when you return, you will find I have prepared a place for you, a place no one else has taken, a place never erased. But my child, this season of grace will not last forever. One day the call will fall silent, not because I no longer love, but because you have refused too long. Do not let that day come while you still turn away. Do not wait until everything that can be lost has been lost. Come back while you can still hear my voice, while your heart can still be moved by this invitation. For the sooner you return, the sooner you will be healed, and the less you will have to lose. If you will stop today, let go of your resistance, and allow me to lead, you will begin to see change. Each step will grow lighter, each burden will fall away, each wound will begin to close. Not because you have saved yourself, but because you have allowed me to do what only I can do. And one day when you look back, you will see that every slow step, every seeming detour, every season of waiting was a stone laid on the path bringing you home. My beloved, I do not tire of seeking you. I do not give up when you are lost. I do not change my heart because of your mistakes. I still call your name, still hold out. My arms still keep your place beside me. And when you answer, you will see I have never left, never forgotten, never stopped loving. My child, in every moment of your life I have been quietly present. Not always in great displays, but sometimes in a gentle breath, a fleeting light, a word that pierces your soul in a way you cannot explain. That is when I am knocking softly at the door of your heart, waiting for you to open. I have arranged unexpected encounters, allowed counsel to come at the exact moment you needed it, caused promises to appear just when they would steady you. Each of these is a fine thread drawing you closer, hoping you will recognize it as my hand. Yet many times you have brushed them aside as if they were nothing. You have called them coincidence, and so you did not pause to listen. You have grown so accustomed to the world's noise that my gentle sounds have faded into the air. I have sown unease in your heart so you would see. The road you are on is wrong, but instead of turning back, you have quickened your pace as if running to outrun my call. You have chosen to interpret everything in a way that suits you, and so your heart has grown numb to my warnings. You have clothed yourself in a hardened shell and called it strength. But you do not realize that this strength is only a wall shielding fear, hiding wounds that have not healed. You have ignored my whispers and named that ignorance freedom. You think that if no one forces you to change, you can live as you wish. but you do not see that this freedom is only a new chain gilded to appear beautiful. You have found every reason to avoid facing the truth, fearing that once truth enters it will overturn the fragile world you are trying to preserve, and yet I have never stopped seeking you. Opportunities have been given again and again, so many that if you counted you would see they are proof I have never left. I have allowed you to taste the direct results of your wrong choices. Each time I have not left you alone in them, but have watched, hoping the very pain would become the teacher that words could not be. I know that sometimes only when you hit the bottom will you lift your head and search for a hope greater than yourself. I hope that when the things you believe in collapse, you will remember me, the one who has never changed. When the places you seek for peace fail to give you what you long for, you will return to me where true peace is not dependent on circumstances. When darkness surrounds you and you are unsure of the way, I hope you will desire my light more than anything else. Yet I also see clearly that many times, instead of turning back, you have sought answers from the world, a world willing to sell you something, yet never able to satisfy the deepest longing in your heart. My child, my voice is not like the noise around you. It is gentle, yet piercing, tender, yet powerful. It does not impose, yet it will not remain silent forever. The season of grace is still open, but it is not an endless doorway. If you keep delaying, the tender calls you hear today will become unfamiliar tomorrow, not because I stop loving you, but because your heart will have grown accustomed to the distance until my voice becomes hard to recognize. Do not let that day come when you must strain to remember what it was like to be led by me. Do not wait until the darkness fully covers you before seeking the light. Respond now, while you can still feel the stirring in your heart, for it is a sign that your heart is still soft toward me. Do you know, every time you hear my call, it is proof that I am still near, still committed to restoring you. I do not call you back merely to follow a list of rules or obligations. I want your heart whole, undivided. I do not want a small portion given to me, while the rest is kept for other things. I want you to experience true freedom, not the counterfeit kind you once believed in. True freedom is not doing whatever you please, but no longer being bound to what you were never meant to belong to. You must know that I am not calling you back to the same starting point. I am calling you to where you were meant to be long ago. You will not lose yourself in this process. On the contrary, you will find the best, purest version of yourself, the one I formed before the world ever touched you. When you let me lead, your steps will be steady, and your heart will no longer be restless. But all this begins with a decision today. You can keep walking as if every warning is a coincidence, or you can believe they are sent by the one who knows both the beginning and the end of your life. You can cling to the freedom that is really a prison, or you can let go and step into the space I will fill with my presence. My child, not everyone is given countless chances to return. Some have passed by their last chance without even knowing it. I do not say this to frighten you, but so you will see the value of today. For today is still a moment of grace, and no one can guarantee that tomorrow it will remain. Step out from the fence you have built yourself. Let me remove the chains you have grown used to wearing. Let your heart grow tender again, so that when I touch it, it will no longer resist, but open to receive my unchanging love. And when you return, you will understand this. Every sign, every whisper, every seemingly random event in your life has been a small stone laid along the path back home. I placed them there one by one so you would not lose your way. Now you only need to follow them, and I will be at the end of the road waiting for you with open arms. My beloved child, I urgently call you back, not with a fleeting emotion or a fragment of a broken heart, but with your whole soul, your entire being, complete, uncovered, and unreserved. Do not hold back even the smallest part for yourself. Do not imagine there is any dark corner I cannot touch, for every pain, every weakness, every hidden secret of yours I have long seen, and still, my love for you has never changed. The time for hesitation, for weighing loss and gain, for hiding behind excuses has already passed. Now is the moment to step forward, to choose the path of return. You do not need to have every answer, nor must you explain all your wanderings and old wounds, nor force yourself to appear strong when your heart is fractured. Come as you are, weak, unsteady, or even fallen, that is enough. I will be the strength in your trembling steps, the breath sustaining each beat of your life, the light guiding paths you have never walked, so you may know you are never alone. Remember this, I have never demanded perfection from you. The only thing I long for is an honest heart, a heart willing to open, willing to trust. The more you hide behind your hardened shell, the further you drift from the wellspring of love I am always ready to pour out. I do not come to condemn or to interrogate, but to heal, to bind up, to restore. You may think you are too late, too unfinished, that you have lost your chance, but with me, it is never too late. I still wait, still watch, still call like a father longing for his wandering child to come home. I know you are weary from striving in your own strength, disheartened after countless failed attempts, despairing when you lift your eyes and see only darkness ahead. But it is precisely at the end of your weariness, when you find nothing left to cling to, that you will encounter me. I am not far. I am right beside you. All it takes is for you to look up, to open your heart, to whisper my name. I am the refuge of your soul, the outstretched arms for the exhausted. You do not need to prove yourself nor force yourself to stand tall. Only lay down your burdens and let me carry you. Perhaps you think, how could you accept someone as flawed as I am? Yet it is precisely your true self, with all its weakness and brokenness, that I desire to embrace. I do not seek false perfection. I seek the humble heart, the heart that thirsts for truth. Every wound of yours I will heal. Every tear of yours I will wipe away. Every failure of yours I will turn into a lesson of love. All you need is to let me in. Do not fear that you lack the strength to finish the journey. The road home is not one you walk alone. I will go with you, guiding you through each step. When your legs tremble, I will support you. When you fall, I will lift you up. When you lose your way, I will shine the light ahead. You need not know how the end looks. Simply trust that as long as my hand holds yours, you will never be lost. I have promised, and I will keep that promise. My child, let your heart soften. Let your tears fall if they must, for sometimes tears are the deepest prayer. Do not suppress. Do not pretend. Be true to yourself and true to me. I do not mock you. I do not despise you. On the contrary, every time you are honest, every time you entrust your weakness to me, I hold you even closer. For in my eyes you have never been a burden, never been useless. You are my beloved child, my joy. Stop chasing after what drains you. Stop seeking from the world what can never satisfy your soul. All these years you have tried, you have tasted, you have longed to be filled, yet remained empty. For only my love is vast enough to cover you, only my arms warm enough to soothe you, only my presence strong enough to bring true peace. You do not need to search afar, for I am already here waiting for your heart to open. And when you decide to return, you will see it was never I who abandoned you, but you who strayed from me. Each step you take home is a step I have already run to meet you. I long to see you not in strained effort, but in the peace of knowing you are loved unconditionally. I do not care in what state you return, only that you truly return. You will find that even though your past was dark, I can still transform your present and future into radiant light. Imagine a barren field parched by drought, brought back to life by a gentle rain soil, revived flowers, blooming trees green again. So too with your soul. I will be the rain that refreshes your desert, turning pain into hope, darkness into dawn, death within your heart into abundant life. You will no longer wander in search of shelter, for I am your home, your eternal peace. So do not delay any longer. Cast aside the whispers of fear, of doubt, of self-condemnation. You are not defined by your past, nor imprisoned by your failures. You are defined by my love, a love, unchanging, unshaken, not dependent on your worthiness. Let that love sink deep, soften your hardened heart, and open a new path for your weary soul. My child, I have waited long for you. I wait not to accuse, but to embrace you. I wait to wipe away your tears, to wash off the dust, to clothe you in a new garment, to place upon you a crown of grace. I wait so you may know that though the world may turn away, may judge, I still stand by your side, still call your name. You are mine, and no one can snatch you from my hand. Therefore take the step. Leave behind the burdens, the darkened days, the confusion, and walk toward the light. You will not regret it, for once you taste my love, you will know it is the very thing your soul has always sought. I promise never to forsake you, and I have kept that promise from everlasting. My beloved child, when you return, I will guide you once more, as in those innocent beginnings, like a little child taking its very first steps, unsteady, yet filled with hope. I will not leave you to stumble alone in the darkness, nor let you lose your way among the countless false voices that surround you. I will stoop down, draw close, and whisper truth into your ear like a gentle breeze, enough to drive away every doubt, enough to kindle the flame of trust within your heart. You will come to see that there is but one light, pure and enduring, a light that never deceives, never fades. That light is mine. Then your eyes will gradually be opened so that you may discern what comes from heaven above and what is but a worldly illusion disguised beneath a glittering yet empty shell. Do you not know all this time the world has skillfully crafted countless false lights, dim lanterns that make one think they have found wisdom, fulfillment, or peace? Yet in the end they are but fleeting sparks, leaving only emptiness and shadow within the soul. I do not want you imprisoned in that cycle any longer. That is why I myself will inscribe my law not upon cold stone tablets or distant words, but upon the very softness of your heart. Then you will no longer know what is right merely as a rigid command, but you will begin to love what is right, to long for what is right, for the love I pour into you will make you tremble before what is good. I will place within you a new mind, not the mind once clouded by deceitful words, distorted by prejudice, or twisted by the false images the world has pressed upon you. That mind will be renewed, day by day, washed in my light, until what you think, what you feel, what you see becomes ever clearer and purer. You will recognize the difference in your very thoughts, for what once enticed and ensnared you will no longer hold the same power. A new mind will help you stand firm amid the storm of lies, reminding you that truth is not a bargaining chip, not a commodity to be exchanged, but the very foundation of life itself. And not only a new mind, but I will grant you a new spirit, a spirit keen and sensitive to hear my voice, to perceive my presence even in the simplest of moments. That spirit will no longer be slow, no longer numbed by indifference, but will vibrate with every breath of love I impart. When temptation comes, that spirit will not bow in weakness, but will rise in courage and strength, knowing its source is not its own power, but my almighty hand. You will see that each change within you, each small but precious victory, comes not from your striving, but from my guiding, from my presence, from my strength covering your life. You will be surprised when you look back at yourself. What once unsettled you, what once weakened you, will no longer be chains. You will find within a new desire a longing to live truly, to live rightly, to live worthy of the love that has encompassed your life. You will discover that true freedom is not doing whatever you please, but having the strength to choose the good, to stand on the side of truth, to refuse what destroys the soul. And you will taste a deep joy, not the shallow joy that fades quickly, but a lasting peace, for it is not built upon circumstance, but upon me. This journey will not be a straight, easy path. There will be times you stumble, moments you feel lost. Yet remember, even then I am there, lifting you, pulling you out of the mire. I do not expect you never to fail. I only long for you, when you fall, to turn back to me instead of running away. And you will be amazed to find that each time you look up, each time you return, you grow a little stronger, a little steadier, a little more enduring. Do not fear that you lack the strength, for I never set before you a path without also providing the strength to walk it. You need only be faithful, step by step, day by day. Each morning I will show you the light of a new day. Each evening I will remind you I have not left. Each night I will watch over your rest, so you may know you are covered. In this way you will gradually discover this truth. It is I who bring about every transformation in you, I who am the source of the life that makes you new. My beloved child, imagine a garden long withered, its soil cracked, overrun with weeds. Yet when the rains return, hidden seeds begin to stir, tender shoots push through flowers, bloom again in beauty. That is what I will do in your soul. I will water, I will cleanse, I will bring forth new life. What seemed dead, what seemed lost, I will restore, and you yourself will become a living testimony of grace so that all who look upon you will see undeniable transformation. And as you change, not only will you be blessed, but those around you will be touched as well. The light within you will shine outward, the love within you will spread, the peace within you will touch others. You will no longer live only for yourself, but become an instrument in my hand, a river through which my waters flow everywhere. Then your life itself will become a song, a witness, a testimony of love and truth. My child, believe that what I promise, I will fulfill. When I say I will write my law upon your heart, I have already ordained that you will not merely know what is right, but love what is right. When I promise to give you a new mind, I am certain that renewal will not be in vain. When I declare I will place within you a new spirit, you may rest assured that life will be strong, unshakable, and no one can take it away. None of this depends upon your fragile efforts, but upon my unfailing power and my love that never fades. There is but one thing I ask, that you walk, that you trust, that you open your heart. The rest I will provide. And one day when you look back, you will see your journey as a wondrous testimony that a weak heart can become strong when loved, that a broken soul can be reborn when healed, that a wandering life can return and walk in the light. My beloved child, pause now and listen deep within the very core of your soul. This is your moment. Not a chance occurrence, not just another fleeting instant among the countless in your life. This is the hour when heaven itself leans down, when all of heaven's host watches intently, following every breath, every stirring of your heart. This is the moment when darkness trembles, when hell itself shudders, for it knows that you are about to step out of captivity, about to break free from the chains that have bound you far too long. And my child, do not miss it, for this opportunity is unlike any other. It is the way out, the radiant path I myself have inscribed and prepared from eternity for you alone. Ask yourself, how many times in your life have you felt the unmistakable call of mine? How many times have you truly been moved by the breath of my spirit, stirring every hidden chord within your soul? Not every day do I call with such strength. Not always can you sense this holy trembling so vividly. This is not merely an opportunity, it is a decisive moment, a moment in which one choice can alter the entire course of your journey, carrying you from the abyss of despair into the freedom of light. Remember, opportunities come and go like the wind. But this moment you now stand at a great crossroads. One path is familiar yet shrouded in gloom, the road of repeated falls, disappointment, and silent tears in loneliness. The other is a path never before walked, bright and full of promise, a way I have already paved with love, forgiveness, and eternal freedom. You need not hesitate, for I am here with my hand outstretched, shining the way so you may know the true direction. Do you hear it? The sound of heaven rejoicing as a wandering child chooses to return. Angels stand ready to sing, to celebrate, to proclaim the triumph of light in your soul. And yet there are also groans from the shadows, the gnashing of hell, for it knows another soul is slipping from its grasp, one it can no longer imprison. This moment carries weight not only for you, but for the unseen world surrounding you. My child, I know you tremble. Part of you longs to move forward, yet another part clings to fear, hesitates, and holds on to what is old and familiar. But consider this. Have those familiar things ever truly given you life, or have they only sown emptiness and pain? Remember, nothing in this world can make you whole apart from my love. And now, in this very moment, I am offering you a way out, a door, not into hypocrisy, but into the truest life of your soul, into the abundance you have always longed for. Picture this: a person floundering in the sea, exhausted from endless waves, their eyes dimming, their hands slipping. Suddenly, a strong hand reaches out, seizes theirs, and pulls them above the waters. That moment is not for hesitation, not for delay, but for grasping tightly so that life may be saved. You are in that very place. This is my hand extended. All you need is to lift yours, and I will pull you from the depths. Or imagine a prisoner who has long sat in darkness, so accustomed to shadows that light itself becomes frightening. One day the cell door opens, light floods in, and the guard says, "You may go. Freedom is yours." That prisoner might shrink back, too afraid to leave because the darkness feels familiar. But if they dare step out, they discover vast skies, fresh winds, new life. My child, you are that prisoner. The chains are broken, the door stands open, the light pours in, and I call, come out. Do not let fear keep you seated in the dark when freedom waits outside. This moment is like a seed after a long winter's sleep. When spring arrives, the warmth touches it, the rains water it. The seed can choose to remain closed in its shell, to stay dormant, or it can split open and rise into a living green shoot reaching for the sun. You are in the springtime of your soul. I am watering, I am shining, so that the seed within you may awaken. What will you do? Remain sealed within the shell, or break open to new life? Understand this, my beloved. This is not just another small choice like so many others in your days. This is destiny's threshold. This is the moment when your entire future can be redirected. This is the door of redemption, the way of escape I prepared before you were even born. You are not here by accident. You are not hearing this call by chance. Everything has been ordained for you to meet me in this very moment. And if you hear and respond, every chain will shatter, every shadow will flee, and light will flood in. Listen to me, do not let hesitation steal this chance. The enemy will whisper, wait until tomorrow, until you feel ready, until you are stronger. But my child, if you wait until you feel ready, you will never begin, for in your own strength you will never be enough. But it is precisely when you are weak, when you tremble, when you have nothing left but a whispered yes, that I will be strong in your place. Think back to all the times you have missed opportunities, all the times you heard my voice yet were distracted by trivial things, swept away by what does not last. Do not let that happen again. For this time I call with greater force than ever before. My spirit surrounds you, stirs you to the marrow, leaving no room for delay. This is the hour of grace, and this grace cannot be bought, cannot be manufactured, but only received with an open heart. So my child, step forward. Step out of familiar darkness and into blazing light. Step out of fear and into my arms of peace. Step out of the shame of failure and into the freedom of glory. And as you step, heaven will rejoice, the universe will resound, and you yourself will know that you are wrapped in a love unbreakable. Believe me, this is your hour. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Do not miss it. For this way of escape has been prepared for you, and once you take hold, you will never be the same again. My beloved child, I am stepping into your life, but understand this well. My intervention is not to crush you, not to bring you to ruin, nor to strip away what is most precious to you. On the contrary, I come as a merciful physician, as a compassionate father, to heal the torn places of your soul, to bind up the wounds that have festered for so long, which you once tried to hide beneath hardened layers. I do not come to destroy, I come to restore. Not to shatter what fragile remnants remain, but to cradle, to recreate, to bring back to life what once seemed dead. You have grown accustomed to living with invisible chains, habits, fears, the ghosts of your past, so much so that at times you no longer even recognize them as chains. You have learned to endure pain as though it were normal, to breathe in heaviness, as though it were inevitable. But today I come to untie each cord, to break every shackle, that you may know what true freedom is. My intervention is not the cold decree of a distant throne, but the embrace of love in action, the arms that lift you from the pit without a word of reproach. I want you to understand that love never comes to oppress. Harsh judgment only produces fear, but love heals, love awakens life. When I touch you, it is not to highlight how weak you are, but to affirm how precious you are. I will open your eyes to see what you have never seen before: abundant life, true freedom, and a deep peace that darkness cannot touch. You will discover that you are no longer defined by your past, no longer limited by your wounds, but defined by my eternal love. And be certain of this, I never begin a work only to abandon it halfway. When I set my hand to redeem a soul, I will continue until it is complete. You may grow weary, you may collapse, you may doubt yourself, but I do not grow weary, I do not fall, I do not forsake. The work I have begun in you will never remain unfinished. I am the beginning and the finisher. Remember, my child, how many times in your life you started something only to give up midway, too tired, too disheartened, too hopeless. But I am not like that. When I plant a seed in your heart, I tend it, water it, nourish it, shield it until it sprouts, grows, blossoms, and bears fruit. I am more patient than time itself, more steadfast than mountains. Nothing can compel me to abandon the work of my hands. This intervention of mine is not like a storm that sweeps everything away, but like gentle rain soaking into hardened soil, softening the earth, nourishing the hidden seed. It may begin quietly, slowly, but the outcome will be wondrous. You will look back and see every tear in your soul has been mended, every chain has fallen away, every dark corner has been lit. You will hardly recognize yourself, for the transformation will be too deep, too complete. Believe that every touch of mine brings healing. Every word I speak to you is a ray of light. Every step I lead you is a step nearer to wholeness. You do not need to perfect yourself by your own strength. You only need to let me act, to let me do what only I can do. And I promise you that work will never fail. When I redeem a soul, there is no power, no darkness, no past strong enough to stand in the way. I have paid the price in blood, conquered the night, crushed death itself, and all of this was not in vain. You are the living proof of that victory. You will see that my intervention is not coercion from the outside, but enduring love from within, transforming you little by little, day by day, until you become the fullest image of what I intended from the beginning. Be at peace, my beloved. I am not hurried nor discouraged. I walk with patience, lifting you when you fall, wiping your tears when you weep, reminding you when you forget. You may change, you may falter, but my love does not change. And it is precisely this love that will strengthen you to rise again, to keep walking, to trust that you are never alone. Imagine a master craftsman patiently carving a statue. He does not abandon it halfway, nor discard it while it is still rough. He patiently shapes detail by detail, stroke by stroke, until the work is perfect. So it is with you. I am the artist sculpting your life. I see the masterpiece even when you only see fragments. And I will continue until you shine with beauty in my light. Do not fear my intervention. Do not mistake it for cold judgment, for in truth, it is love revealed. Love strong yet never harsh, tender yet never weak. Love powerful enough to shatter chains, gentle enough to soothe wounds. And you will see wherever my hand touches, there comes renewal, restoration, completion. My beloved child, hear this again. The work I have begun, I will bring to completion. Nothing can stop it. You may resist, you may hesitate, but if you open your heart, everything will begin to change. Step by step, day by day, I will turn what is unfinished into wholeness, what is broken into healing, what is dead into life. And one day you will look back, tears mingled with joy, and say, truly the Lord has done it all. My child, in this very moment, not tomorrow, not some distant day in the future, but right now, my mercy is being poured out upon you like a great and mighty river. It is not a fragile trickle that you must ration drop by drop, but an overflowing current, rushing and unstoppable. It carries away everything, every sin that has weighed upon your soul, every shame that has bowed your head low, every accusing voice that has echoed in your mind. All of it swept away in this river of mercy, leaving behind a soul cleansed, lightened, and free. Picture yourself standing beside a river, murky and polluted with stains and filth that you have added over the years. Then a great rain descends from heaven, flooding the stream with fresh and living waters, sweeping the defilement far away. When the storm is over, the river is not the same. It is cool, clear, vibrant with life. So too with your soul, when my mercy touches you, it transforms everything. It does not merely wash the surface, but flows into the depths, cleansing to the very roots, making you a new creation. Right now, my hand is not distant. I do not stand far above, pointing and commanding you to find your way to me. No, my child, I bend down, I extend my hand, not only to guide from afar, but to take hold of yours, to lift you from where you have fallen. These hands, once pierced with nails, still bearing the marks of love, are stretched toward you now to assure you that you no longer need to struggle alone. I will lift you, steady you, and carry you through every trembling step. Do not delay, my beloved. Do not bargain with yourself or with me. Do not think you must prepare more, become better, or complete every task before you return. No, you need only come as you are weak if you are weak, sinful if you are sinful, broken if you are broken. You need not hide, you need not strain, you need not prove anything. I myself will be your preparation. My love will supply what is lacking. All you must do is release. Release the burdens from your shoulders. Release the ambitions that have drained your soul. Release the entanglements that have pulled you from my embrace. You have clung to so many things in life, believing they would give you worth, but the tighter you held, the more exhausted you became. Like a drowning one grasping heavy stones, thinking they would keep you afloat, but in truth they drag you down faster. I call to you, let go. Let go to be saved. Let go so my hand may lift you up. If you cling, you sink deeper, but if you release, you will rise. Know this, all the guilt and self-condemnation you place upon yourself do not come from me. Never have I called you failure, unclean, or unworthy. Those voices come from the enemy, from the shadows, from your own fear. But I call you by another name, beloved, precious, mine. You need not carry sentences I have already overturned. When I forgive completely, without recalling it again. When I cleanse, you are truly clean. Do not cling to verdicts I have erased. Even now this river of mercy does more than wash away, it gives new life. Like a parched field, cracked and barren, long without rain, suddenly refreshed by a downpour. The soil softens, hidden seeds, stir sprouts push forth. So it is with your soul. For years you have withered, believing you had died of thirst, yet when my mercy falls, life rises anew. You will find yourself not only rescued, but reborn, living a life you never imagined before. Do not think that letting go is loss. Letting go with me is the path to fullness. When you release your ambitions, I give you a higher desire. When you set down your burdens, I place upon you the lightness of peace. When you leave behind toxic bonds, I grant you true love, love that never betrays. Letting go is not defeat, it is the beginning of freedom. Perhaps you ask, if I return, will you accept me? My child, the answer has been written from eternity. I accepted you before you knew me. My love is not based on what you do or how far you have fallen. It is unconditional, everlasting love. I paid the price to have you, and I will never abandon what I purchased with blood. When you return, not only will I embrace you, but all of heaven will rejoice, for one soul redeemed fills eternity with joy. Beloved, think no longer. Do not let hesitation rob you of this moment. For as time passes, the opportunity fades and the chains only tighten. But here now I am with you. The door is open, the river flows, my hand is stretched out. You need only step forward. Just one step out of fear, out of shame, into my arms, and you will see the very instant you choose to release, a new strength will rise within you. Not your own willpower, but the power of my spirit covering you. You will find that what once seemed impossible to forsake, habits, temptations, entanglements, will weaken, for my love is stronger than them all. You will feel wounds that once throbbed with pain begin to heal as my restoration seeps in. You will find joy returning, joy you thought long lost, because the peace I give is unlike the peace of this world. Remember, redemption is not a theory but a living experience, and you stand now at its threshold. In this moment you may step in, taste it, feel it. Do not fear, do not think yourself unworthy. Worthiness comes from me, not from you. You need only say yes, and I will do the rest. My beloved child, I am your Father. Not a distant cold deity, not a far-off God sitting on high to observe, but a Father near, familiar, more bound to you than anyone else in your life. I know your name, the name others may forget or miscall, but I never confuse it. I have engraved your name upon the palms of my hands, so that every moment I remember you. I know each breath you take, each beat of your heart, each sob in the darkness. Even in those nights you lay awake alone, thinking no one sees or understands, I was there listening to every sigh. Do not think that when you turned away I abandoned you. No, my child, I have never left. Though you turned your back, though you rejected me, still I walked beside you, still I watched over you. You thought yourself alone, yet my hand still shielded you, my eyes still followed you. There were times you collapsed when no one knew yet. I lifted you, so you would not drown in despair. There were moments you stood at the edge of ruin and I drew you back, though you were unaware. I am Father, and a father's love never changes, never ceases to pour out. And today I promise you this: everything that has been lost will be restored. But understand clearly, my restoration is not simply giving back what you once had. I do not patch together a broken piece and return it the same. I recreate, I transform, I give you something far greater, something you never imagined before. Like a shattered vessel, if you mend it yourself, it remains cracked and fragile. But if you place it in my hands, I can make it into a new work of art, radiant and whole. You have lost much faith, hope, relationships, even yourself. You have wept over what you thought would never return, but I tell you those losses are not the end. In my hands, they become the raw material for something new. The restoration I give does not follow your expectation for you long, only to have again while I long to give you what you have never yet known. I ordained this long before your first cry, long before you ever tasted sorrow. I had already prepared full restoration for your life. Lift your eyes and see what I am about to do. The towering walls that held you captive, in fear, in guilt, in shame, they will fall. No one, nothing can imprison the soul I have redeemed. The doors once locked, shutting you in despair through rejection and impossibility, will open. And not merely a small doorway, but an open field, a wide horizon. The wounds that once brought you down, bled you dry, convinced you could not rise, will become marks of triumph, testimonies of love. You will point to them and say, "This is where I once fell, but this is where my Father lifted me." But for all this to come to pass, you must do one thing, small in appearance, yet greatest of all: surrender. Let go of control, stop grasping at your life by your own will. Place it in my hands. Let me steer the course of your days. For too long you have held back a portion for yourself, believing you knew best, believing you could manage. Yet it is that very part that has left you weary, lost, wounded. Hand it to me, even the parts you most fear to lose, even the corners you have kept hidden. For I do not desire to be Lord in name only, but truly to be your Father, the Father of your whole life, leaving nothing untouched. Surrender does not mean loss, but the beginning of true life. When you place in my hands what you have been clinging to, I give you freedom. When you give me your burdens, I give you peace. When you release selfish desires, I give you nobler dreams. When you entrust me with your wounds, I turn them into stories of victory. You think you will lose, but in truth you will gain, and gain more, greater and more beautiful than you ever thought possible. My child, surrender is not defeat. The world says letting go means losing, but in me, surrender is the greatest victory. It is the first step on the path I have prepared for you. Not a path lined with roses, but a path filled with my presence. And it is my presence that gives life its meaning. You need not know every turn nor see every road ahead. You only need to know that I am with you, and I never abandon the work I begin. Look back on your life. How many times you tried to stand alone only to fall again? How many times you tried to save yourself only to collapse in exhaustion? But this time is different, for it is no longer you striving alone. It is I who take hold. You need only release, and I will do the work. You need only trust, and I will act. And when you surrender, you will see restoration unfolding day by day, little by little, until all things are made new. My beloved child, I am not distant, I am not indifferent, I am Father. A Father who knows, who loves, who draws near, a Father who promises and who fulfills. Everything that has been lost will be restored. Yet more than that, you will be given what you never had before: a new heart, a renewed mind, a living spirit, a new future. And it all begins with one simple, yet profound decision: surrender. For this is love, not the shallow kind the world knows, but an eternal, steadfast love that never stops pursuing you. You may turn your back, but I will never stop loving you. You may refuse, but I will still be here waiting for the day you return. And when that day comes, I will run to meet you, embrace you, and lead you into the home where you belong forever. Now, my child, let your heart speak before me without hiding, without fear, like a spring welling up from the depths of your soul. Almighty God, I come before you with a bare heart, nothing left to hide. I see how many times I have altered your word to suit my own desires, how often I have let other altars take the place that should belong to you. Uproot every bitter root in me, tear down everything that is not from you. Rebuild me on the foundation of truth, so that every breath and step I take belongs to you, and nothing in me resists you anymore. Father, you who know all that is within me, I confess I have clung to things that have drawn me away from you. Cut away every chain I still hold on to out of fear of change. Even if it hurts, keep working until I am truly free. I no longer want to live half in light and half in darkness. Immerse me fully in your light, unchanging, one who loves me. I now understand that you do not call me to be perfect before coming to you, but you call me to give you everything. Today I lay down dreams. You have not planted plans outside your will, and the images I have tried to keep to please people. Take them all and replace them with what reflects your will. Father of mercy, I open the deepest rooms of my heart, the ones I locked away for fear you would see. Come in, cleanse, heal, and rebuild. I no longer want to keep anything for myself. I want you to own me fully, as I have always belonged to you from the beginning. Faithful God, thank you for not abandoning me in my errors. Thank you for intervening even when I misunderstood it as punishment. I know now that every shaking was to set me free and bring me back to true life. Unchanging one, I thank you for seeing my eternal worth far beyond temporary comfort. Thank you for tearing down the altars I once feared to touch. Now I am freer, lighter, and closer to you. Lord of restoration, I thank you for seeing what I could not, and for loving me too much to leave me as I was. Thank you that everything you have taken away has made room for something better. I know the work you are doing in me will continue until it is complete, and the result will reflect your glory. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith.